Okay, it's half time. We've gone into the Williston sheds.
Yep.
I believe we're down a little bit.
It was close. I didn't bring the stuff with me, but yeah, it was close.
What can you tell us about the halftime address and how you fired us up? Because we had a pretty good third quarter.
We did. I can't tell you anything about the halftime address. We had a couple of concerns. I think Cheeky went off in the second quarter. He wasn't getting much of it. When did you go off? You went off in the second quarter, did you?
Third, I think.
Pop went off. He had a sore knee. Michael came on. Michael went on to Williams. Pop said something like to me, "I've done my knee," and I put it on Pop. He had to come back. I didn't have a lot of compassion for. I didn't know what a hamstring was in those days. Anyway, to Pop's credit, he came back and he was pretty serviceable.
So he ended up on Zinni or not? Who ended up? No, Mick.
No. I reckon Pop would have ended up on Zinni, but Zinni floated in and out of the middle, and Zinni did had a roving commission, I think. We swapped over Rick and Wally. Rick went to centre half forward, Wally went to centre half back. Wally will tell you he had a terrible day, but Wally was probably one of the more coachable blokes that we had in the team, and Wally would do whatever he had to for to get the job done. I thought Rick might go to centre half forward, and Rick was, if he could clunk a couple of marks, because he's an excellent mark, and kick a goal. That didn't happen. Nevertheless, we had a pretty good third quarter. I think Kelly had come on. Now Kelly kicked goals either side of half time. GT was doing his cameo. So yeah, we had a pretty good third quarter, and Gamo and Walshy kicked goals. I think Gamo might have kicked one at that point too. I know Walshy kicked one right at the start of the game. So yeah, everybody, it was just when we said at the end of the day all played well. Well, it was a pretty good contribution across the board, and we didn't have somebody who absolutely you would have said is clearly our best player or anything like that, but we had lots of contribution.
Davo was obviously having an influence if Richard Farigigay's giving him a Liverpool kiss.
Yeah. That happened. Gamo, as he came, I was saying something to Dave, and Dave said, the whatever, he headbutted me. He just headbutted me. Anyway, I told Dave, just you got to just play the ball and don't worry about him. We'll see what we can do. So there was a lot of activity going on, but for me, it is a blur, because Briscoe be sending out messages. I'd be asking how much time you got. We try and manage Pop, who's got an injury, and so we were down to the 19. You didn't get back on, did you?
I don't think so.
Cheek didn't get back on. I think we were sort of operating on the bare minimum. So in the end, and then third quarter, we were in front at 3/4 time, and then came the longest bloody last quarter I've ever played in, I think. And Paul Little had the whistle, and I thought Gawler Central were getting a great run, and he paid marks. Poor Staz he must have had a lot of patience, Staz. He must have never whacked anybody in his life, because he had all the ingredients to whack somebody. Yeah. Staz was getting a rough deal. Cruthers kicked some in the last quarter. They missed critical one. And then we went forward. Phil Smith out of the middle found Sharpie. Was probably 80 metres out. Sharpie would tell you, but it was probably about 35 metres out. Anyway, so we got to the front. We got about 8 points up. I sent a message to find out how much time there was, and there was still 5 or 6 minutes. Anyway, I called Scoffer back behind the ball, and I said to Scoffer, "We've just got to tough this out." So he and I played behind the ball for the last 5 or 6 minutes. I do remember I was chasing bloody Peter Symes, Arlo, up from half back up to the wing, and he's trying to turn, and I'm thinking that the more he's running that way, the more he's getting away from the danger zone. So I'm chasing him and late in the game, and on old and tired legs. So yeah, it was high tension. It was high tension. And then when the siren went, it was just like there was no elation. It was just relief. It was just there was no jumping for joy. It was just, oh God, thank God that's over. Yeah.
And then the presentation looked pretty professional in the newspaper clippings and that, like for its day.
Yeah,
there was people everywhere, and
that's a good snap, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was responding to Doug Harrison. You see Johnny Dork. Johnny Dork's got himself in the photo. He was involved.
The opportunist.
Yeah, as a good politician does. So, and then Walshy and Phil had the bottles of champagne, and they poured champagne over my hair, saying it goes straight into the eyes, and it stings like crazy. So I was trying to, I'm trying to focus and say some sensible words, but yeah, it was just relief.
No, it's good, and yeah, it was certainly a big day for Two Wells. Anything else you want to say about that at this point?
No. Well, it was a good day for a small town, wasn't it? Yeah. And a lot of people live their lives through the footy. It was probably easier for my mum to go to church on Sunday, knowing that we went top and looking around, and
you did mention when you spoke on the night that you would have given Noel BOG that day.
Yeah, well, we did best players at the club rooms, and I said I thought Noel was our best player on the day. I don't know whether we gave any other awards out, but that's all I said. Then I had a bloke come up to me who used to live on Portgawler Road, who I hadn't seen at the club all year, telling me I shouldn't give best players on grand final night, and I was very polite to him, but I don't know. I felt like clocking him, but anyway, he was there drinking free beer. And we'd gone top, and we hadn't seen him all. I hadn't seen him all year. So yeah. Anyway, I'll tell you the reason afterwards.
No worries.
Former horse trainer.
That doesn't help me. No, that's good. So thanks for your recollections. That's fantastic. And that is the definitive. That's what happened.
Well, look, there's a few players who've said that they've influenced things through the year, how they turned the season around. Well, I've had that many players turn the season around. I was dizzier than the top, I think. But I thank them for all their contributions, particularly Ned and Petros and those people who were able to exert their influence.
Self-motivation is wonderful, and those guys have got it.
That's right, yeah.
We'll just round it out now.
Yeah.
What happened for you afterwards? You coached the following year, and that was it, and then played a few more.
I coached the following year, and we were walking wounded. We ran third the following year. We got beaten by Gawler Central in the prelim at Barossa. But Michael Cotsano had a finger injury. Phil Smith had a shoulder injury. We went in a bit busted up anyway, and I think we lost from 81 to 82. We lost a number of players, and like Lou went to coach, Michael went to coach.
Pop.
Did Pop?
Pop went to United, didn't he?
No, Michael went to United.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Michael went to United. So in 80, we lost a number of players from but we had a couple of youngsters come up, like in Michael Cotsano, pretty handy. And I don't know whether Terry Marcoux, did he stay the following year, or did he go to Virginia? So anyway, we were busted up in 82. We beat Barossa. I think we played them 3 times in the year. We beat them 2 out of the 3 times in the year. We sort of had the wood on Barossa, but they went top. So anyway, we would have been a pretty good chance if we got to the grand final, but we couldn't get over Gawler Central. We were walking wounded.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thanks very much for that, and thanks for your work and what you did for the footy club and for the 81 team putting together the reunion. I know everyone that attended had a great time, it was good to catch up with everyone that we haven't seen for a long time. So on behalf of all them, thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
And I'll also say let's hope the footy club can now launch off your work and make this a regular thing. Obviously not for the 81 team, but for general past players.
There's a few premierships coming up, and past players things are good to get to. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.